Okay, so I've seen a number of videos on Facebook and YouTube of people trying to use a prong collar on themselves to kind of see what it would be like for a human to experience what their dog feels. Now, I often find that they put the prong collar on incorrectly. The real or the right way to put on the prong collar is it goes right under the neck, right under the chin, right here. It doesn't hang down way down here. It just sits gently right here. So I have two different types of prong collars. I have a plastic one and I have a metal one. And I find that the plastic one is the least adversive. It does cause, both of them do cause irritation, but the reason you want it so tight up here is that the way you pull on it is intended to distribute the correction evenly. And so give me one moment here and I'll put this on. Okay. So see how this is right under my neck here? And it's barely sliding, but that's because I can't get the exact size. So I have it tight, not too tight where it's choking me, but just enough so it's sitting right under my chin. Now, that's how you're also supposed to put it on your dog. It's not supposed to be way down here. So the point is, let's say your dog pulls, and I'm going to go this way, and that tightens up. So they feel that irritation all the way around their neck, and they say, oh, I don't want to feel that. So they come back this way. And like I said, the plastic one I found has the least amount of irritation. So I'm going to pull this here as tight as I can. And, I mean, to me, it's, on a pain scale of 1 to 10, maybe at most a 2. But I also have to assume that it might be more or less, depending on how sensitive your dog is. And I also have a nerve disorder, which makes me even more sensitive to pain than most people. So it may be very similar to what a dog feels if you assume your dog is more sensitive than a human. So then here's the metal one. And I'm going to put this one on. And another thing people tend to do is they put the hook here in the back of their necks, but when you're on a walk, it's supposed to go on the side. And the reason it goes on the side is because it pulls correctly. When you're pulling it this way, you're going to be choking them versus just telling them you want them to go the opposite direction. So these are not intended as full-time collars. These are intended as training tools, just as you would use a gentle leader or a front attach harness or whatever training tool you're going to use. And I recommend that you still use positive reinforcement, which is treat-based, getting them to focus on you because they want to, along with any type of tool you're going to use. So I'm going to pull this metal one here, and I'd say this one probably is about twice as strong as the plastic one. So maybe gets up to a 4 if you're really pulling hard on it. But what I find is, at least with the videos I've seen of people using them correctly, is that it doesn't usually take a lot of pressure for that dog to realize that they don't want to pull on this. And then they don't generally end up pulling that hard. And so you maybe get a slight what usually happens now that I've taken this off is the dog has this on, they start to pull this way, and they realize, oh, I didn't want to go that way. So it takes very minimal pressure before they realize that they don't want to go that direction. They don't want to choose to go that direction because it's irritating their neck. So it is an adversive tool, but I also believe that things like the gentulator can actually be just, if not more adversive, considering that the muzzle of a dog is more sensitive than their neck. It's one of the most sensitive areas on a dog, and it can cause a lot of problems, especially if your dog tends to twist or pull on it. It can cause them to even snap their neck if they run too fast and you're not using it correctly. But just like any other tool, they need to be used correctly in order for them to not cause damage to your dog. Now, obviously, using a harness is the best option to prevent any type of damage, and without using any specific training tools besides clicker, positive reinforcement. But in the meantime, there are people that do have difficulty getting their dog out on a walk, don't have a yard to take their dog out, or want to exercise their dog, but their dog is not quite ready or not quite capable of controlling themselves yet on a harness. And positive reinforcement sometimes takes quite a while before you really start getting to the point where you can reduce those treats or not need them. Like you'd run out of treats or whatever. So it takes a lot more planning. But anyway, so that is my explanation and my review on how these work. And thanks for watching.